If you're buying a home here in Bay County, you might be wondering, what does it really mean if a property is in a flood zone? Stay tuned to find out. A flood zone doesn't always mean a home sits on the water. In fact, here in Bay County, there are plenty of properties in flood zones that have no views of the water at all. Flood zones are determined by FEMA maps, and they're based on risk, not just proximity to a lake, bay, or the Gulf. That means two houses on the same street could have very different requirements. Even neighbors could have very different requirements. And you wouldn't know unless you checked the FEMA map or worked with a local realtor who can guide you through it. The biggest factor is insurance. If a property falls in a high-risk flood zone, your lender will likely require a separate flood policy. The cost depends on factors like the home's elevation, location, and FEMA maps. But don't let that scare you. Flood insurance can actually be affordable, especially for homes built with updated codes and elevation. For military families using a VA loan, the rules are the same. Flood insurance may be required, and you might even be able to include it into your monthly payment. So you can still buy in a flood zone without it being a deal breaker. The key is knowing the costs up front and working them into your budget. Another thing to consider is resale value. Homes in flood zones can still be great investments, but buyers will always ask about insurance and risk. Understanding that ahead of time helps you make a smart decision, and later, when it's your turn to sell, you'll be ready to answer those questions confidently. So yes, you can absolutely buy a home in a flood zone, and many families here do. The key is understanding the risks, budgeting for insurance, and having the right advocate by your side. If you're PCS-ing to Bay County or relocating to Florida, reach out. I'd love to be your advocate, advisor, and ally in finding the right home for your family.